here I am last Friday morning, coming off the high of having not actually done an episode of Legends Lookback on a Thursday night, and instead was hanging out with y'all in the chat. It was a lot of fun, having pre-recorded the episode with our buddy from across the pond, Trev, our Legends aficionado, and I found myself waking up on Friday, ready to tackle the day. Friday's my day off. It was a little bit, different because snowboarding season is finally over. May it rest in peace. And I wasn't totally sure what I was going to do with my day. I've got my kid for the day, the other kid's in school. Give my wife the day off, let her get some work done. And then first thing in the morning, soon as I'm like dropping my kid off at school, Meg, our resident Utini photographer, a little peek behind the curtain of what's happening internally at Utini. Meg is like, all right, listen, we're launching this whole new comics arm of the company at Utini. I want to give a huge shout out to the Cosmic Force. Our buddies over there are doing an awesome job. Absolutely loving the content they're putting out. And that's not just because I was on the show last night. It's also because I genuinely love what they're doing apart from me. And Meg's like, I got to get some photos, some trade paperbacks. I need some comics. Anybody got comics? Somebody mail me some comics. I know y'all collectors have extras. Unfortunately, I had just given away my extras, but I said, you know what? If you need me to, if I have to, I'll go on a little adventure today. And I'll go buy you some comics. I'll mail them to you. I happen to have the world's junkiest. Well, how would you even describe it? Timothy, you were saying you just recently went to Ollie's. We've got a local Ollie's near us. They've got trade paperbacks for what, $2.99?
Yeah, $2.99. It is something. I don't know how exactly to describe it either. It's kind of like a little bit more cringy Walmart.
I describe it as Big Lots but junkier. So it's like a fusion of the two of those. Anyway, I had to get on my hands and knees and dig through comics in order to send these to Meg. I just posted a picture of what the comics aisle looked like inside Ollie's. And I mean, Meg is I'm pretty sure that it gave half the team a heart attack, didn't it? The junkiness of Ollie's.
It's something.
Pretty nightmarish place, don't you think?
Yeah, that was a lot of books in that picture.
Then after digging through all these, I actually found 7. I posted the picture and nobody told me, hey, you've actually got 2 duplicates of books. I ended up buying 7. Turns out I had actually accidentally bought duplicates. So I mailed Meg 5. And right as I'm about to leave, I notice up on the top shelf, you know what I'm talking about, that top shelf that's so high that even with a good Michael Jordan dunk, you're not going to get up to that top shelf. Last thing I wanted was to accidentally kill my kid on this adventure by toppling down this whole shelf on top of her. So I did the nerdy dad thing, and I went and found an employee who definitely did not want to help me. And I asked her to help me get an item off the top shelf. Normally there's a sign that's please ask an associate for help getting something off the top shelf. There's not in Ollie's. They want you to just try. So I went and found her. She was stocking another section. Like, hey, I need help getting an item. She was like, where is it? It's over here, in the books. And she's like, yeah, what book is it? And I was like, it's a big Star Wars book. And she's like, Star Trek, huh? No, it's Star Wars. It's great. I'm really excited about it. It's like a $50 book. She's like, no, I don't care. Just show me where to go. We go over there. She's, really, really grumpy about it. Finally looks in the corner behind a cart. It's full of junk, and the ladder's gone. She looks at me. She's like, where'd you put the ladder? I'm like, I didn't touch the ladder. If I had the ladder, I would have got the book. And long story short, it's really not that short. We found it. I got this thing for $8.
Oh, it's
Star
beautiful.
Wars Archives on Solo. Look at this. It's so big. It's bigger than my
Oh
face.
my gosh.
A $50 book, $8. Exactly. 50.00 US dollars, not $49.99. I mean, a full $50 book. And so that night I settled in to read it, at least skim. All right, I'll be honest. Look at the pictures. I look at the pictures when I get a new reference book. I don't read every word. I'll get there. I at least got to look at the pictures. There's a whole Legends section in this thing. They've got the history of Han Solo in Legends. I was right in the middle of putting my kids down to bed. They're watching a little YouTube video. I'm leafing through this thing, and we threw a party when I discovered what was in here. All right, I found the Legends section. Look at this. There's a whole page called The Legends of Han Solo.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
First book there, you see what it is, Freddy? What's that first
Yeah.
book? Shout it
Ooh,
out.
Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
Yes, this first book, Legend of Han Solo, the first Legends book. He's not even in it. Anyway, they've got some write-up on the Brian Daly Han Solo books. Next page has
That's awesome.
The Thrawn trilogy. We've got, of course, Han is in those. He's not the main character, but it made the book, which is exciting. We've got some Drew Struzan Jedi Prince art in here. This is Ghost of Darth Vader or something. We got Courtship of Princess Leia. And here, I'm almost on the page that's really fun. It's such a big book, I can barely get it in front of the camera. I was like, yeah, I'll show this off on stream. It's harder to do in person than you'd think. There's a fold-out pin-up poster.
Oh, man.
It is glorious.
That's amazing.
Of the AC's, the Drew Struzan covers for the AC Crispin Han Solo trilogy. Of course, transitioning into our show for tonight, there's one more full page of information about Han's history in Legends. You guys want to take a guess what that story is?
Let's see.
One thing I haven't mentioned so far that Han is in and is kind of an old school Legends title. I'll give you a hint. It's got, you guessed it, Vima Dabota. I mean, no, Naked Palpatine. Dark Empire gets a full page spread.
That's amazing.
In this book. I did not know when I asked this wonderful, wonderful employee in Ollie's to help me get this thing off the top shelf. There's the full page hamburger Boba Fett, right? Hamburger style, because it's hot dog Boba Fett. Lengthwise down the page. That's right. We're coining the phrase hot dog Boba Fett. Long ways. He says greetings.
A new meme. Hot dog Boba Fett. Naked Palps.
That's right. Two full pages on Dark Empire. Whew. I did not know how exciting this was going to be. If you thought this was the coolest thing I've got to show off on the show tonight, you're wrong. And boy, have we got the show for you. So let's light that candle. Hello, everybody. And welcome to Legends Lookback, a show brought to you by, you guessed it, utini.com. This is a Star Wars books podcast for people who drink Tang, where we talk about all things Star Wars Legends, celebrating our rich EU history, as well as diving into lesser-known Star Wars classics. I'm your host. It's right there, over there, right? Jared Mays, and today I'm joined by the Vima to my Boda, Freddy C. What's up, Freddy?
Hey man, I was just looking at the show notes as you said that, and I was like, he's gonna say it. He's gonna actually say that. The Vima to my Boda.
Tim, our other guest on the show tonight watched me in the pre-show try to come up with something to put there because I realized I hadn't updated it yet, and I was like, yeah, the Vima to my Dabota.
Well, I accidentally deleted everything.
Yeah. Well, we won't have to talk about that. Glad to have you here with us as always. You got a fresh cut there, Freddie, don't you?
Yeah, you could say that. It's pretty fresh.
Looking sharp. Absolutely. Got to get that summer cut for California. Is it always summer in California?
No. I mean, it's like usually like in the winter time, it's like between 40 to 60, and then when summer hits, then it gets into like the 80s. Yeah.
Man, that's excellent. Awesome. You know who else is excellent and awesome? Meg. She is, of course, the Jabba of our crime syndicate that we've got going on over here at Legends Lookback. How are you, my friend?
So good. So happy to be here doing this thing with all of you as always. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hope you're doing great.
Meg's grunted, I hope you're doing great, is seriously a 2021 mood, is it not?
I almost believe it.
You almost believe it. Glad to have you here. And you heard him at the top of the show. You heard him right there. And that is, we are joined tonight by the Watto of Utini. And not because he has a snout or wings, but because he loves the money. And that is our friend Taco Timothy. How are you, Timothy?
The taco
what is
himself.
up? I am good. Yes, the Watto of Utini. I'm also the Dark sequel guy, I think. I was here for Dark Force Rising, and now you've got me back for Dark Empire 2. So I'm waiting on the next Dark book to come back.
We got Dark Saber. And the funny thing about that is that's actually book 2 of a trilogy.
Perfect. Sign me up. Put me on the
Lock it in
calendar, Meg.
Hope you're not busy in 6 months because we'll have a 2-part roundtable on it. Maybe.
I'm
love it.
here for it. You just tell me when.
Excellent. Are there any other book twos in a Legends trilogy that start with the word dark? This is such weird trivia. Did not know I'd have to be doing tonight. Dark Saber, and then simultaneously, all four of us turn around to look at our bookshelf.
That's great. We'll find it.
We are, of course, tonight going to be talking about Dark Empire 2. Well, we'll touch a little bit on some other things. Ultimately, we had done a Dark Empire roundtable for the original Dark Empire. It was just about a year ago, Freddie. That is, the pandemic had hit. It had hit hard. And we were like, how do we even try to do a stupid podcast right now? And we were like, all right, let's just go back to something that we love. And I was like, all right, Dark Empire, it's going to take zero effort on my part. I can just turn on the show and talk about it. And I'd like to think that that was great. It was, of course, behind the Patreon paywall. It is now available for all to listen to. And I'm more than excited for everybody to get a chance to listen to that. You can be just like our good buddy, The Spice Den, Jacob. Now we know his name. It's not as much fun. I mean, it is more fun because we know him better, but the mystery is gone. The mystery's gone, Jacob. The mystery's gone. I'm sorry.
It's a little bit sad.
Of course, Jacob did something amazing today. Yesterday on the Cosmic Force, once again, plug for that show. It was a lot of fun last night. I joked that if you had never read Dark Empire, you still had time. You had 24 hours to read all of the episodes. I read all of the issues. To read all 12 issues of Dark Empire, and then Dark Empire 2 in advance for tonight's show. And Jacob freaking did it. He did it. He read all two. Okay, well, he's on Dark. I don't know, Dark Nest book 2. Okay, well, that's a different thing. It was answering an earlier question. Anyway, Jacob, did you do it? Did you make it all the way through Dark Empire 2? I know you read all of Dark Empire. Shout out to Jacob for being a champ and plowing through some great Legends stuff. So excited about that. Before we get into the meat of the episode, though, I want everybody get a chance to show off some recent acquisitions. Show us your merch. We, of course, just recently had a week off, kind of. We recorded it Saturday and a half ago. Saturday and a half? That's not a real thing. We recorded it 2 Saturdays ago and played it last Thursday. Time is nebulous. It's just a construct. Anyway, it's been a while. You guys got anything new to show off? Well, let's start with you, Timothy, our esteemed guest. Any new merch, any Star Wars stuff? You just moved. You're a minimalist.
Yeah, super minimalist. Cheryl pointed out my mid-mod credenza behind me. So it's got nothing in it, really. It's sad.
I love that you do have, honestly, you've got some new merch to show off. You got a new acquisition. You got a new house. You got a new place to live.
Yes, a new house, and then a Jose one time only KanjiBookClub
cool.
T-shirt. So we got to get this into the
Very
pipeline. Good. So I think that's about it.
You get the shirt. There's something. Meg, how about you? Any new Legends stuff? It doesn't have to be Legends stuff. I'd like it if it was Legends stuff. In our new segment, we haven't given the name of this. In case you missed it, we're renaming this segment. Maybe, probably. Not official yet, but I like it. Let me know. Do you like this title? Fracken's Thrift Store. Meg doesn't like it. She secretly does. Meg, do you have anything new to show off?
Well, I mean, you technically already talked about it, but I have a bunch of new comics. See?
Oh, yeah. You've got them. Cool.
Yeah, they're great. There's, I've never read this one.
Skywalker. So good.
Oh, this is a good one. Yes. I'm excited. It's
Legend
good.
Lost. Well, don't you worry, Meg. I accidentally bought duplicates of some of the stuff that I just sent to you. So somebody is going to be getting some giveaways pretty soon. Maybe the Cosmic Force can give these away and I'll mail them out. Meg, I'll have you know, I got yelled at for wearing a mask while going into the post office to mail those to you. For wearing one. Don't get me started. Freddy, how about you? You're back. You survived the earthquake.
Little minor earthquake.
You got anything new to show off? Don't knock your camera over, please.
I do.
Oh, you got it. Look at it. Oh, my gosh. I forgot. I saw the Instagram video, and I already forgot. I was surprised twice over. For those who are listening on audio, Freddy, tell them what you're showing off.
So this is an Obi-Wan 6-scale sideshow statuette, as they say. And it is a hybrid between Ewan McGregor and Sir Alec Guinness's face, kind of that in-between moment when Obi-Wan was still chilling in Tatooine, but Luke was still not quite old enough yet. So that's what we got there. And you can see he's got his what side are we looking at here? All right, there you go. We've got the backpack with his.
You can't carry Yoda in that backpack, but
No.
it does have some other cool things.
Clone Wars armor. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. He's got numerous lightsabers, Tusken. What is it? I forget the name of it. Gaffy stick.
It's one of those things that has multiple names.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that. This is my.
Charles is going to hunt you down and kill you for it. You know that, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, if the team ever stays with you at Celebration, Charles is gonna have to stay elsewhere. You have to put
hands down. I know who took it.
Put that thing in a gun safe, man.
Yeah.
That is, I described it to you, Freddie, and I'm gonna stand by this. I've had like a week and a half to think about it. I am gonna say that is the single most beautiful piece of Star Wars collectible merchandise ever made.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Do you think that's true?
I'd agree with it, mainly because I feel like it captures a lot of the Legends vibe still. Like it's good timing too, because we haven't seen anything, right? What this new Obi-Wan or this Kenobi thing's going to be about, and you've got an insert here from the back. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
We got to get that thing signed by Sir Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor. Then it'll be collectible. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Oh, he's out of the box. We're gonna see him in the flesh.
De-boxed him?
This is not gonna go in the.
Gosh.
It does not stay in the box, guys. This is coming out. This is too beautiful. This is way too beautiful.
That is great, man. I thought I had the cool stuff to show off this week, but I do not. I mean, that is, you went up to me. Show's over, guys. See you later. Thanks for listening to this episode. No, okay. All right, I've got some.
See Charles outside. Hold on. I'm just kidding.
I got some things. All right, on the way to the airport, I was going on a little birthday adventure with my brother this past weekend. You can kind of see him looking at me here. On the way to the airport, wow, he fell. We're dropping all the collectibles right on Legends Lookback. On the way to the airport, I was telling my wife about some of the things I was hoping to find as my brother and I went to some different collectible stores. We're going to go to some vintage stocks. Vintages stock. You guys ever been to vintage stock? We're going to go to some used bookstores. I had a handful of places on my list on our brother road trip. And I was telling her the number one thing I would like to find. Obviously, I've got my Star Wars books list, the things I'm searching for. But I would really love to find those Episode 1 cup toppers. And the last stop out of the places that we went to on my trip, masked, of course, lots of hand sanitizer in the car. The very last stop, I saw on my way out the door a handful of Episode 1 cup toppers, including, I like to call him Newspaper Boy Watto, because he's like, it looks like he's chunking the newspaper off the back of the bicycle, doesn't he? Anyway, this thing came in the biggest bag, and I unbagged them. I did. There's some of my favorite Star Wars collectibles ever. I got Watto. I got Sebulba. All right, how was that? At least like a 6 out of 10 in the impression.
Yeah,
and
I'd give
ready
it
to race him and insult him in some wonderful 10-year-old vocabulary. And Huttese is Slimo. We got it's Skywalker, Pod Racer Anakin, and I like to put his hands up and then make him do a dance party. What a great episode we're having so far. I can't believe the things that are coming out of my mouth. Got a couple of other gems I'm very excited about. This one's fun. The Star Wars phrase book and travel guide. My brother loved it that I was speaking Huttese to him all weekend, because there's some basic Huttese phrases you can learn here. See if I can. All right, here's one. Wanta damulira. There's one. That means, why haven't you paid me? A lot of fun there. And one of my favorites that I found, this was actually a gift from my brother-in-law. I have never seen this book in my entire life. This is this maroon and gold paperback of Return of the Jedi by James Caan. If you can't tell over the live stream, it actually has like raised ridges on the title. Embossed. I have never seen this thing. It's got the special edition logo on the front, which is super gorgeous, regardless of what you think. I mean, they're the superior versions of the films, and Cheryl will agree, especially because Greedo shot first in them. It is really, really beautiful for this red and gold. And I want to have the original trilogy novelizations on my paperback shelves back there. And now it is finally complete. Finally, the last thing I picked up that I want to show off, I got some single issues of, you guessed it, Dark Empire and Dark Empire 2. that I want to show off as we get into the show tonight. I found in the single issues in a comic book store, I got Dark Empire #1. Very proud of that one. Dark Empire #2. Freddie, you want to guess what my third comic is I'm about to show off?
I would say #3, but that almost seems too easy. Go ahead.
That's right, Dark Empire #3. With I like to call him Spectral Luke. He's looking quite ghostly there. I don't have 4 or 5 yet, but I did get Dark Empire 2 #1 and Dark Empire 2 #3. Why these issues in this exact order, I don't know, but it's great. I don't have the one that has naked Palps on the cover. I think that's issue 5 of Dark Empire 1. We'll see. Timothy, which of these covers do you like the best?
The one with the.
Let's play Dark Empire flashcards.
Yeah, Luke looking like a Scooby-Doo villain is my favorite, I think.
Oh my gosh. Well, we don't just have some fun stuff to show off this week. We've got stuff to talk about that we will one day be able to show off. And that is because there were more Essential Legends collections leaked. Freddie, why don't you tell us about the first of these that was unceremoniously dropped onto the Wook?
Well, first of all, this is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them. So yeah, we talked about this Essential Legends collection that leaked. And we discussed one of them with Trevor on our last episode, which was, I believe it was Darth Bane Path of Destruction that came out. Was that the one that came out first that leaked? Yeah. Well, guess what? Rule of 2 has also been announced, and that should be coming out supposedly around September 7th this year.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The good news about that to me is it means they're going to do not just like first books in a series, but that means they're going to give us entire trilogies, which just like soothes my soul deep down, because I was really worried that we were just going to have Heir to the Empire or like just Darth Bane book 1. And that was not going to fly, was it? This was not the only sequel that was announced. Timothy, tell us about the next Legends. I cannot get this title right. Essential Legends collection that was leaked.
Yeah. So it's the book that was inspired my first episode on Legends Lookback, Dark Force Rising, which is my favorite of the original Thrawn trilogy. So I'm excited about it. And yeah, I think like you're saying, the hope that there will be more, that they will finish out the trilogies. I'm a completionist, so I love that. Give me the new artwork. I'm all for it. And that one, yeah, also September 7th, because they're all releasing same days.
Yeah,
so
that's
really
exciting.
Cool.
That's good. That means we can like make minimal trips to the store,
yes,
or like
exactly.
minimal packages. Save the planet one way or the other, please.
Mm-hmm.
Meg, help me out here. What else was announced?
Also, supposedly on September 7th, X-Wing Rogue Squadron, the first book in the series that I still haven't finished.
Maybe this will be your chance, Meg.
Maybe.
It's okay, Meg. I haven't either. I'm with you.
Thank you.
I'm actually really excited. The day that mine arrives, I'm immediately going to package it right back up and send it off to Mike Stackpole himself and ask him to sign it, because he's got a place on his website where he says he'll do that. And I had sitting on my desk for like 6 weeks my copy of Rogue Squadron, and I was like thinking about doing it and going to the post office. I couldn't find the time. I was scared of the post office, and rightly so, because I got yelled at for wearing a freaking mask. And anyway, I'm going to wait until this new, like, sleeker, slicker version of this book comes out. Unfortunately, Freddie, what wasn't announced was the Truce of Bakura. Has not been announced yet. We're still waiting on it.
2022, I'm calling it.
There you go.
We'll have to do another roundtable, just go all over again, just for the sake of it, just for the heck of it. Got a couple other leaks here, and obviously this is all leaks, all leakage. So, take this with a grain of salt. It sounds credible, but is it? We don't know. We're just telling you about it. Also, Darth Plagueis was on the list as well, which that one's going to be a thick boy, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't see that being a thin book.
No, that's such a dense book. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Wow. Now, Jacob's got a great suggestion in the chat, which is just order my copy of the book and package directly to Mike Stackpole, and just put like my return address and some extra postage. I got mail him the post. I don't know how to get the extra postage to him for the return. There's a way to do it, and I like him where he's at. Oh man, so excited for that. So excited for that. Some great Legends news. One final piece of Legends news for this week. And Meg, I think you've actually even got an image to show, which is exciting. We had for the first time in how many years? Several years at least. I'm not gonna do the math right here, right now. A new Legends short story was released through SWOTOR, right? Star Wars: The Old Republic, a new short story all about. I read it and have already forgotten it. That's not good. All about Darth Malgus visiting Dantooine, which is awesome. It's called Quite a Story to Tell. I've not finished it yet, but so far I'm liking what I'm reading. It's a short story, and I still haven't finished the whole thing. That just tells you what kind of week I'm having. But isn't this exciting, guys, that there is a new Legends short story being published right now? It feels like a tease, doesn't it?
Yeah. A short story. I mean, I'm sure Trevor's all over that. He's put it already in his archive. But I haven't read it yet. I like, so when it comes to Star Wars video games, I feel like it's definitely one of my strengths, Star Wars Galaxies and then SWTOR. And, I'm just so glad that a lot of these short stories are still coming out. It makes me so happy.
And what's cool about this is it's free. What's bad about this is it's not collectible. There's no way to get this on my shelf. If they write enough of these, I could self-print them. I think Trevor's done that. In fact, the problem is now there's another one that's out that he has not yet self-printed. Oh, I love Legends collecting. I just love it. It's so great. It's great. It's great. It's fine. It's fine. And finally, before we get into the show proper, there's new merch. We got new merch here at UTN. I forgot what it is. What's the new merch?
Pretty sure we've got a fanny pack. And
that's what it is. Yeah. We got a new Legends Lookback fanny pack, Legends Lookback mug. We're testing out some new fabrics on shirts. We're going to try out the premium tee because I'm difficult like that and don't like the cotton chafing my skin. All right. So we're working on it.
Flamethrowers, we got it all.
My kids in true 90s fashion, or like true fashion of the kids of a dad who hosts a podcast about 90s books. Yeah, that's about right. They love fanny packs. My 2-year-old wears one around her neck full of toys 24/7. Pretty sure she's wearing it in bed right now. It's safe. It's fine. It's fine. And I can't wait for it to be the Legends Lookback fanny pack. You know what we're going to fill it full of? You got this.
Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards. That's right, Freddy. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say naked palps, but Pokemon cards is a better answer. So let's get into the show. If you have not read Dark Empire 2 by Tom Veitch, illustrated by Cam Kennedy. Every time I say the title Dark Empire 2, Freddy flashes it right up there on screen. I love it. It's just so incredibly choreographed, and we did not plan this, but that's why Freddy's my Star Wars soulmate. It's great. No offense, Timothy. We're glad to have you here too.
No, it's fine. None taken.
Wait, you're saying Freddy can have me? You concede?
Absolutely.
If you have not yet read this story, it's just 6 issues long. It is all out on Comixology Unlimited. There's a trick though. If you want it on Comixology Unlimited, you have to select the Dark Empire trilogy, which I have in hardback. But I like to read them on my wife's massive 12.9-inch iPad when she's not looking because she doesn't like for me to touch it because it's so nice. Anyway, you have to select the trilogy if you want to read them there. They're also on Marvel Unlimited. Of course, you can order this right here. We've got the UTN affiliate link here in the chat, and we'll get a whole 4% of that sale. We might be able to buy a cloning tank with that 4%. Might be able to buy a World Devastator. Maybe like a single Scarab droid. That's probably more accurate for the 4% on the sales on these. Well, if you don't know what those things are, you will if you listen to tonight's show. So this is your spoiler warning. Consider yourself warned. All right, for more than one reason, because this is going to be a wild ride. This episode has got slimy naked Palpatine. It's got super weapons galore, metal-eating mutant rancors, a 4,000-year-old Jedi tree. Luke falls in love with one of his students again. Come on, Luke. The rebels try to Trojan horse the Imperial capital, and the Falcon gets a steampunk makeover. This is the Dark Empire 2 round table. The resurrected Emperor has not returned at the start of the story. People are frustrated. They're tense. They're like, where's he at? He's around here somewhere, right? His dark acolytes dark acolytes try to fight amongst themselves. Some of them take it upon themselves to eliminate his remaining clone bodies to prevent his return, so that one of them might become the new emperor in his place. There's dead, slimy, naked palpses all over the floor. For real, I'm not making this up. It's right there in the comic. It's great. I love it. They're fetal, and it's disturbing in so many wonderful, incredible ways. He has got one true believer, though, and that is Executor Cedrus, who looks more like a kind of a steampunk rocker than a dark side acolyte, and he acts like a teenager. And in the audiobook, he sounds like an African-American pastor. It's incredible, incredible. Cedrus eliminates the other non-believers and is rewarded by none other than a big slimy himself, the resurrected Palpatine in his last surviving clone body. This time he's clothed. It's pretty epic. His last clone body is, however, a faulty clone and deteriorates at an accelerated rate, especially when he gets angry, which, let's be honest, is most of the time. He needs a new body so he can go back to Plan A. Or was it Plan B? Essence transfer into the body of Leia's Jedi infant. It's a different infant this time, but he'll do just fine. Yeah, absolutely. The rebels receive a tip from the weapons manufacturer on Balmora concerning the route that the new Viper droids are being transferred to Biss. After debating what to do with the intel, they launch a strike force under the leadership of Lando Calrissian to steal the droids, hide inside, and throw a surprise party for the Imperials. But instead of confetti, they brought blaster turrets and commandos. The Emperor has a few surprises in store for them, however. Nightmare mutant rancors that eat Viper droids, and oh yeah, the galaxy gun, because this is Legends and we like super weapons. It blows up planets, you guessed it. It eventually backfires, but we'll get there. Meanwhile, the Skywalkers decide... this is impossible to say. One more time. Meanwhile, the Skywalkers divide and conquer to find more potential Jedi. Luke and his new Jedi apprentice, Cam Salusar, go to the ancient Jedi planet Ossus that Luke learned about from Bodo Siask-Bosk's holocron that he stole from Palps. There he found tribal magicians descended from the Jedi. Two of their youths, Rafe and Jim, are good candidates for the Academy, but don't get too attached because they both die. But first, Luke and Jim do a lot of making out. It's not great. Han, Leia, Chewie, Sala, and Shug. Yes, there's a character named Shug Nix. They take the Falcon back to Nar Shaddaa to search for the ancient Jedi survivor Vima Dabota, descendant of Nomi Sunrider, a descendant of Nomi Sunrider, and she's a purge survivor. She betrayed the Jedi, cut herself off from the Force, cowardly and just kind of creepy and wonderful. They're betrayed by their smuggler friends and chased by Boba Fett. Boba Fett, where? To escape, they flee into a toxic green space cloud. Inside, they find the isolated steam-powered sailboat of a spaceship with a community led by Jedi Purge survivor King Impata Joyos Brand. It sounds like I'm making up a story as I go, but I'm not. He's basically I can't even say this. He's basically a head on a big round ball of a robot with a lightsaber arm, and the other arm is a machine gun. They help fix up the Falcon with the weird and wonky lightning gun with which they use to defeat Boba Fett. Kind of, maybe. He comes back, but not in this. The heroes rendezvous at New Alderaan, the secret retreat for the Solo children, but Palps intercepts their resupply ship, interrogates the pilot, retrieving the location of the base from his mind. The acolytes infiltrate the planet while the heroes sleep. There's a massive final showdown in which Vima heals Luke from the Scarab droid attack. Luke's new girlfriend is killed, and Palps escapes for one final naked epic adventure. Oh man, I have read this book in this comic series in its entirety over the weekend. I listened to the entire audio drama this week. I now have just re-summarized it. You showing off the Palpatine corpses on the floor, Freddy?
That's it.
Good. I love it. Man, I've had a lot of Dark Empire in my life this week and can't wait to share it with all of you. But first, guys, what are your ratings? How would you score this? The grand scale of Star Wars stories ever told on the 1 to 10 rating system. And you can't all give it 10s. Like one of us could, but not all of us probably. Freddie, start us off. How do you rate Dark Empire 2?
Dark Empire 2 is, in my opinion, just as good as Dark Empire 1. It takes you all over the place. There's so many things going on. There's so many different plot lines. It goes, it has the story of the rebels. It has the story of the galaxy gun and the Palpatine. Boba Fett, Han Solo. I mean, it takes you all over the place. It's hard for me to give it anything lower than an 8. So I'm going to say an 8.5.
All right, he likes it. I feel so validated. Timothy, how about you?
So I first read this back in December, this last December, and I did not know what was going on. The whole thing was so extra. I read the entire series in like 12 hours. But no, I think I'm going to give it a 7.5. I really enjoyed it this last go around. It made a lot more sense to me having read it again, and then the audio drama really helped too.
Yeah. There's an audio drama. Good luck finding it, everybody. It's not on the internet anymore. Not like legally. It used to be on Audible. That's 5-6 years ago. It wasn't long ago. There's got to be a way to get this thing back in official channels. We're going to play a clip of it here in a little while. I got it from a Humble Bundle a number of years ago. I got all of the Legends audio dramas for like $11, which was cool. And man, I've listened to it so many times, so incredibly well done and yet goofy. It's such a great way to like get through the story if you just like want to immerse yourself in some weird legends, but it's like a full cast recording. Oh, it's so great. If you're interested, hit me up in Discord and I'll see what I can do. We'll see if we can track it down together. We'll at least put it that way. I think personally, Meg, I want to let you guess. What do you think I'm going to help me out? How should I rate this? Freddie gave it an 8.5. Timothy gave it a 7.5. You haven't read it yet? Is that correct?
No.
Haven't read it yet? Or do you want to? Is this interesting?
Someday.
Okay, yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. I know I'm getting Meg for Christmas.
Oh, God, no.
This epic collection. I'm trying to remember what I gave Dark Empire 1. I don't think I gave it a perfect 10, did I? I give it a 9.5, a 9. We'll go back and listen. That episode's up for free now. Let me know if you're listening to that episode and want to tell me what I scored it. I'm going to give this an 8.9. An 8.9. Great, almost incredible. I would say if it didn't have the Galaxy gun, if it didn't have a super weapon, the Legends super weapons in the 90s get to be a bit extra. Freddie, we're actually planning an episode, aren't we? All about the super weapons of Legends.
Yeah, and they're all over the place. The thing that makes me laugh is when people criticize some of the sequels with, oh, what's with the super weapons? And it's good, guys, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I happen to like ridiculous Star Wars super weapons. Thank you very much. We've been rehashing super weapons in Star Wars since 1983 in Return of the Jedi. This one is just like, how would you describe the Galaxy gun? It's just like a super long musket rifle in space, isn't it?
Yep. I think they even load the bullet with two ships, and they load it in, and then they just cock it. Yeah.
Visited my grandfather this past weekend. He's getting rid of his guns. They had to relocate to a housing complex that doesn't own guns. This is a weird rant if I've ever told one. If he has this super long, ancient, like 1850s musket, what would you call it? A black powder pistol. And he was like, be careful. This thing's been loaded for 50 years. And I don't know how to unload it. And I'm scared to shoot it. So don't pull the trigger. He hands it to me. I was like, thanks, Granddad. Great. No problem. Glad my wife's not here, who's super gun control.
Oh, that's great.
Let's see if she's watching this episode.
It's going to blow up in my face.
Let's see if I get an angry text when this is over. Oh, man. So great. Yeah, it's the Galaxy gun. It says super long musket rifle in space. It's great.
And don't forget that the bullet, it is a smart bullet, and it travels at hyperspace and exits at the point that it needs to just destroy the planet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And what's great is R2-D2 reprograms it to blow up the bad guys. Yeah. So, we have talked about the summary on this book. We have gotten into the basic plot of it. We've rated it. Before we get into some discussion on the characters, let's give it a little bit of background on what happened in the production of this. Of course, this is 6 issues that were published between 1994 and 1995, which is several years after Dark Empire was published. Dark Empire is actually having its 30th anniversary, so happy birthday, Naked Palps. This is the 30th anniversary of both Heir to the Empire and Dark Empire. It's like the best year ever. Is 1991 the best year in the history of Star Wars publishing? Do you think? Can we declare that right here?
Let's do it. Let's declare it.
It's declared. I declare 1991 the best year in Star Wars history. Oh man, that's great. We'll get a sticker made. We'll stick it right back on 1991. We'll do some flow walking with Jason Solo to get there. It's going to happen. Just wait for it. 6 issues between 1994 and 1995. Interesting to note that is several years after the production of the first one, but then they rushed into making Empire's End, and it has a different illustrator, and it's only 2 issues. It's like, all right, we got to wrap this thing up. But I really feel like this deserved a true sequel, another 6 issues to complete the trilogy. Do you guys think I'm right about that? What's your impression on Empire's End? We're not going to cover it in deep detail in this episode.
It's you know, I wish we got more. I feel like the way this one ended, it's very much pleasing, right? And I don't know if Empire's End is great, but I wouldn't say I feel like we needed more. How about that? But I'm also biased with my Legends, so
I enjoyed Empire's End more this time around than I ever have. So there's that. Did you get to it, Timothy?
Yeah, I did. I loved the new art style in it. I did feel like it could have been a lot more. So I felt a little bummed out, but it's good.
There's a lot of story jam-packed into it.
Yeah, it really is.
The only complaint I have art style wise is Palpatine looks rough. Palpatine, I mean, his body's deteriorating, so he's supposed to look rough.
Rapidly, yeah.
But he's looking rough. He's looking rough in Empire's End. But the rest of the art is pretty good. He tries to emulate Cam Kennedy's washed out watercolor style, and he does pretty well with that. But Cam Kennedy is a singular talent. There's no one like him, and it is out of this world. Of course, Tom Beach is the writer. Cam Kennedy is the author. We've mentioned there was a Time Warner audio drama that came out in 1995. Let's talk about the audio drama for a second. It's got John Seigan as Luke Skywalker. He's like a super gruff, heroic sounding Luke, which it really coordinates well with how he's depicted story-wise and artistically in the book itself. Anne Patricio as Princess Leia is, for my money, the best voice of Leia in any content ever outside of Carrie Fisher. You guys are both nodding. You agree?
yeah,
It's good.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Joe Hacker is Han Solo. He does well. Han's not especially hard to do. He's kind of talk out of the side of your mouth, anyway. So he's pretty good. He's fine. And most importantly, Freddie, you want to tell him who plays Lando Calrissian?
Billy D. Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, man. He has to play his character, and the fact that when I first heard it and it was Billy D, I was like, yes, that's it, we got it.
Billy D comes back for a lot of these audio dramas, and I appreciate him for it. It's like he says, I'm committed to the character, I'm committed to the fans. And one day I don't want his autograph on like a Lando Calrissian trading card. I want his autograph in Dark Empire or something like this. I want him I want it in one of these weird things on your chest. So good. This trilogy was collected in hardback in 2010. It has become quite lucrative and hard to track down. I love mine. There's a whole thing. I told it last night on the Cosmic Force. You want to hear more about that? Go listen to that episode. There is now a Marvel Legends Epic Collection titled New Republic Volume 5, not titled Dark Empire. If you Google Dark Empire Legends Epic Collection, at least on Utini's search, it's not going to come up. You got to type in Legends Epic Collection New Republic Volume 5 because Star Wars. What else? It's set 10 years after the Battle of Yavin, so 6-ish after Return of the Jedi. There's a canceled novella called Lightsider, 64 pages long, tells the story of how Luke rescued Kam Solusar from the Dark Acolytes and is referenced multiple times in this series, as well as in other Legends books, even though it was never officially published. However, Freddie, you want to tell them where they can hear us talk about that?
Well, we just recorded a Lost Legends episode. What was that? That was released last week, I guess.
It's hard to
Thursday.
remember exactly when. Yeah. Our last episode.
Yeah, we went over a lot of the Lost Legends that Lucasfilm did not release and either canceled, including Heart of the Jedi and some other ones.
What's really cool is that a little snippet of that story is actually incorporated into the opening of this audio drama. So you've got like it starts with a lightsaber battle between Luke and Cam. And that's in this canceled novella that was never officially published, but then it makes it just a little bit of it without like the goofy space chess game. It's incorporated just slightly into the prelude of the audio drama for Dark Empire 2. So that's kind of fun, kind of weird. I've listened to this thing 100 times and I had no idea that it was actually from this canceled book that I have now read, which is cool. And as we mentioned, something broke down in the publication of in the contractual agreements between Lucasfilm and Cam Kennedy, who was the artist on this. They could not get him back for Empire's End, so they rushed into production. Tom Veach was kind of sidelined. He talks about it. In fact, Scuba Joe shared an article, a really in-depth interview with Tom Veach I read a number of months ago. We'll pop it in the Legends Lookback Discord channel. In this interview, it is wild. Tom Veach lets it all hang loose. He takes Timothy Zahn to task in it. He critiques everything that he hates about the Thrawn trilogy, and he talks about the things that Tim Zahn told him that he hates about Dark Empire. And it's glorious. It's an incredible interview from just a few years ago. We'll see if we can pop that into the Discord channel, and you can get a chance to read up on that. You know what would be fun, Freddie? If we did this is like pie in the sky here. I'm springing this on you. I've told no one about this. I would like to host, guys, I'm putting this out there. All right. The Force, listen up. Powers that be. I want to host right here a civil debate between Timothy Zahn and Tom Veach about the merits of Dark Empire versus the Thrawn trilogy. We'll moderate. We'll have rules. We'll keep it civil. I think it's time for bygones to be bygones and to celebrate what's great about both of these books. What do you think? Is it ever going to happen?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm not sure a lot of the listeners, if anybody knows the history between Timothy Zahn and Tom Veach, but it is not a very nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, am I
there's
doomed
not
on
much else
this?
to say. There's not much else to say about it.
If there's ever a place to do it, this is the space.
There you go. That's the best possible answer. Well, let's get into it. Let's show them. Let's show the powers that be that this is the right space. Let's talk about Dark Empire 2. One of the first things that comes up that really got me thinking is the fact that General Beltane and Balmora, they've been sidelined by the Empire. They, of course, hey, the Emperor's dead. There's Endor. There's the party. It's over. So they're free from the Imperial rule. But then, hey, did you not read Dark Empire 1? Palpatine's back, y'all. And get back to work. Get back in the factory. We need your weapons. And so, of course, the governor does not want to give his weapons to the Imperials. And there's this really great line about, I think it's very telling of the nature of fascism, which is like the Emperor doesn't pay for weapons. He takes weapons. You make them and he takes them. You don't have any option in this. Really has me thinking on a political level. But on another level, who was right about this plot? It was like, General Beltane has tipped us off on how to get the droids before they're delivered to Palpatine on Biss. And Wedge has the idea, what if we go inside these things? We intercept them, but then we hop inside and we ride the Viper automatons to Biss and we blow up the Imperial capital. Luke says, hey, listen, that's not a great idea. Let's just steal them and then not touch the capital because it's doomed. That's way too tough. I've been there. I used to be a Darksider, kind of, a little. If you read the first one, did you read my first book?
Not a good play.
Freddie?
Yeah, I mean, this one was tough because as Luke walked into the conference area, whatever it was, and everyone's discussing the plan, they just kind of dismiss Luke, and they're just like, cool, go Jedi boy, go be somewhere else, right? Like we'll take care of the Alliance, you go take care of the Jedis.
Yeah,
and he
start
just
your
gets
academy. Go be mystical.
Go do your thing. We'll do our thing. And I mean, it just shows the whole thing with Luke, right? He wanted the patience. He probably wanted a plan, a better attack, something where they could use these machines in a better situation. And Lando had a great idea, but you're also going to an area that has more weapons than you're going to have. You're just going to have your Viper automatons. That's all you've got, right?
Yeah, boy, do we ever have Viper automatons. I mean, this series has just an incredible number of weaponry and like new technology and different pieces that are brought onto the chessboard in this warfare. They're like, I see your Viper automatons, and I raise you mutant metal eating rancors. I see your mutant metal eating rancors, and I raise you a lightning gun. I see your lightning gun. I raise you a galaxy gun. I mean,
It's hilarious.
Oh man,
This is totally like me and my friend at 7 years old playing with action figures, right? Like, I have lasers. No, I have super lasers. No, I have shields. I have monsters.
It's
yeah.
funny.
So
It
let's
happens
recap.
like right at the beginning too.
It does. I was on the airplane starting to read this, and I immediately, like a couple pages in, had to switch over to my notes app. And I was like, all right, here we go. This is the first thing we're going to talk about. What is up with all these new inventions? Let's talk about the best and the worst. All right, guys, I want you to tell me your number one and your bottom of the list, bottom of the barrel. Out of all the new weaponry inventions, it's hard to just classify them as weaponry, but we will. All right, just for the sake of discussion, out of all the new ridiculous Legends inventions in this series, which is your favorite and which one is your least favorite? We've got shadow droids. Shadow droids, which Jacob says, like, here's the only thing you need to know about Dark Empire 2. Shadow droids. He's not wrong. They were Imperial starfighters piloted by surgically implanted organic brains.
Yep. Which is close to Truce at Bakura, right? With the Essence droid ships ish.
Yep. It's not far off, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not far off. So we got shadow droids. Another great thing is the SD9 versus the SD10 battle droids. Yeah. They were very particular that the SD10s are the superior model. They're literally iterating on their designs in the middle of the page. They're like, yeah, well, I see your SD9s and I raise you SD10s.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then it goes, all right, well, SD10s, well, we got our shadow droids. Okay, you've got shadow droids. Well, we got our X1 Viper automatons, like in 3 pages.
Guys, how would you describe the X1 Viper automatons? They're a big plot point in this series. They're on a bunch of pages. Show this off, Freddy. What you got? They are, other side. Yeah, a little lower.
Yep.
A little higher. Yeah, a little lower. They're like big.
They're like scarabs. Scarab octopus beetles.
Bugs. Yeah. With pincher claws. They're not especially practical. They're more flexible than AT-ATs, but a little meatier, and they've got tentacle mouths.
So great.
It's special, Timothy says. So the X1 Viper automatons, you got the Galaxy Gun, metal-eating nightmare mutant rancors that eat the X1 Viper automatons. You've got the Falcon's lightning gun, Dark Troopers. Hey, relevant to the Mandalorian. Dark Troopers were in this a little bit. And Scarab droids, these tiny microscopic bugs that come in and bite and poison Luke Skywalker in his sleep, which was very unsettling. While I was trying to sleep on the airplane, and I'm like, let me just read another page. Uh-oh, there's bugs. All right, guys, which of these was let's start with the worst and work our way up to the best. Freddy, go first.
Man, I think the Galaxy Gun is hilariously bad. It's literally just a giant gun with it's a bullet. It's definitely not really a missile, but it's kind of both, right? I have no idea how to explain it. And it just creates, I wrote this down because I had to write it down. It creates a nucleonic chain reaction with its particle disintegrator. It's not the best thing that
AKA
that helps.
It blows up the planet.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of the Galaxy Gun. It just, I don't know. It just looked a little too weird as well.
Yeah, it might be bottom of the list for me too. However, there's not much done with the shadow droids. The shadow droids are so cool. They, in my opinion, should take up more story. But that's the problem with only having a 6-issue miniseries. There's so much plot crammed into these 6 issues that you get something cool like this, then they're like, wipe it from the chessboard. Get a bigger weapon on there. Or a smaller one with the Scarab droids. Scarab droids were cool. Definitely liked that idea. Kind of predates what's happening in like Attack of the Clones with the little, nano assassin bugs that come in and bite Padme or get sliced by creepy Anakin's brooding lightsaber. All right. Timothy, what's the worst of these for you?
Oh, SD9. Last year's model toy? No, thank you. Pass.
Right.
Goodbye.
It's so great. The vitriol that is conveyed in the tone of like one of the Imperials in the audio drama. They're like, the SD9s? Why, we have the SD10s. And I just
It's so
LOL'd
great.
while I was out at the park with my daughter listening to that thing. So good. Well, what about your favorite? Do you have a favorite of these?
I would have loved to have seen the Shadow Droids more, personally. I think they're super cool. And I want to know the history behind it. I want to know how it works. I want to know the stories of the pilots' brains that they used. Like, it's dope. I'm here for it.
Yeah, we got to call in Trevor to help us with the history on these things.
Yes, please.
How about you, Freddie? Do you have a favorite of all the weaponry introduced in Dark Empire 2?
So Jacob in the chat, the Spice Den, he brings up a great point. I just love the Wrecking Ball Jedi. He's but you know, he's kind of human brand. Yeah, it's the craziest thing, right? You see this guy and he goes, "Oh, I'm a Jedi too." But I would say out of the ones that you listed so far, the Falcon's lightning gun is just the absolute best. I gotta build that Lego.
Yeah, buy them at the $300 Millennium Falcon, take off one of the mandibles, and then you just stick in like one of those like handheld ball pumps, you know, with like the black squeezy thing and then the little pointy metal bit. You just jam that in there, boom, lightning gun. Isn't that what it looks like?
Yeah, it almost looks like that tower from Singapore. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh yeah, sure. That's great.
The one with the ball on it. I forget which country, but yeah, that's the one.
Well, you mentioned Impadajoyos Brand being, on the one hand, weaponry. I love the panel when he's like, "Fear not, my arm is a lightsaber." It's like, aha, I've had one here all along. It's like a great party trick in Impadajoyos. This series, though, beyond Brand, has an incredibly big cast of characters as opposed to Dark Empire. It just bursts the floodgates wide open with these ridiculous Jedi that are coming out of the woodworks. Let's talk about some of them. You've got Cedrus on the dark side, our punk rocker Sith wannabe. You've got Cam Solusar, dark side acolyte turned good by Luke's sheer power of positive thinking. You've got the 4,000-year-old Jedi tree, Odenud, who I think is in a lot of early to mid-90s Legends comics. I'm trying to remember what all he's in. I know that.
Please tell me more.
He's in Tales of the Jedi, right? That's where he originates. Tom Beach was involved with that series. Then he worked closely with KJA, with Kevin J. Anderson. So Kevin J. Anderson will use the same species, maybe the same character, in some different things. I think he's in Young Jedi Knights or his cousin on Yavin, something like that. It's great.
KJA, he's a big fan of Dark Empire, by the way.
Okay, cool. Hey, KJA, let's hang out. We can be friends. All right. Rafe and Jim, the teenagers from, what's the planet? Not Tython, the other old one.
Man.
Starts with an
Ossus?
O. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The teenagers from Ossus who don't speak Luke's language, but then eventually the Force kicks in to help translate, which I've got a major issue with that.
Yeah.
Languages.
Should we talk about it real quick?
Languages are more complex than this. The Force, this is like one of my least favorite Force powers. The Force cannot translate alien languages, all right? I know it works well in a video game. Revan in KOTOR is always like, yeah, I understand you. I've got the Force. And that's not how it works. Languages are more complex than that. Just because you know the meaning of the words that somebody is saying, there's nuance in words. And so, for example, there's 3 or 4 different Greek words for love. They mean different things, but they in English are all translated love, for example. But like you could be talking about like sensual, erotic love, or you could be talking about like selfless, sacrificial love. You could be talking about like brotherly love, like a bromance. You know, it's like, okay, but if Luke was hearing the Force translate that, when Jim tells him with her pigeon language on Ossus that she loves him, is he like, oh yeah, she loves me. It's It's not my favorite force power. It's fine. It works narratively. You guys, you're nodding. You agree with me?
Well, I mean, the way it happens too, she like trips and falls on top of him. They stare each other in the face. He's like, "Oh, I know your language now." That's the part that just gets me.
Don't ruin the $2,000 laptop with a spit take. Don't ruin the $2,000 laptop with a spit take. All right. Oh man. And then Brand. We didn't talk. Oh, but we talked a little bit about Brand. Let me ask you guys this: do you, before we get on to Brand, do you buy Luke and Jim's romance? Does this work for you?
It's weird. It's a little weird to me, just how it happens, and they're just making out in the corner, it seems, and her brother and Cam are just watching.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it.
It's like I know that there are people that have been married long time, right? And whenever they first meet each other, it's like, I feel like I've known you for thousands of years. And I'm like, I call bull. There's no way. There's no way that works here.
Luke is, man, there was an episode of Star Wars Archives, you're not in the Patreon, go check that out. Star Wars Archives did a deep dive on Valentine's Day into Legends Luke's romance, his love life. And spoiler alert, most of his romantic interests are his Jedi students.
And a lot of them die too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. It's like women in refrigerators and the problematic idea of Luke dating his students.
Every author just wants Luke to fall in love.
Yeah, they just want Luke to be happy. They just want Luke to be happy. That's right.
But then they break his heart in the end. Like,
yeah, and
no wonder the
Mara.
guy went to the dark side.
It was Mara all along.
Yeah,
So,
we'll have to ask Cheryl what she thinks about all these love interests.
thankfully, Lando shot his shot with Mara, and it didn't quite work out. So Luke won in the end, kind of. They had a few good years together. I absolutely did not love the Rafe and Jim subplot, but you know who I did love? King Impatajoyos Brand. Jedi steampunk ball Impatajoyos Brand. Aside from sounding like a tasty empanada, does Brand does he work for you as a character? What's your thoughts on Brand? Did you catch the joke about how Rafe almost cut his head off and he was like, haha, I still have half a head? Are you showing a picture of him? Yeah, we're not making this up. He's half a head attached to a ball. He's got a machine gun arm. The other arm is a lightsaber, right? That's everything you need to know.
Well,
Anything else that you need to know?
He reminded me of the egg villain from Sonic the Hedgehog. Is that right?
Totally.
I can't
Dr.
remember his
Robotnik.
name. Yeah. Yes, there it is.
Dr. Robotnik's Jedi cousin.
I'd have to say, out of all that, we've got some pretty good characters here. Brand is just absolutely my favorite. When they saw him, I liked him instantly. And he was ready for adventure too.
These guys have, as opposed to, Rafe and Jim who just die. Both Brand and Vima Dabota have heroic, and Kem Selusar as well. They all have good plot trajectories in this. They have good character arcs. I appreciated the way that Brand, for example, talks about like how, he dueled with Vader, which is how he was left so scarred and why he had to have this steampunk cybernetic body and was taken in by these people in this gas cloud. They don't have technology that's on par with the rest of the galaxy, but like he's a survivor of the Jedi Purge, but only barely after being scarred and maimed by Vader. But then he joins up with Vader's son to help restart the Jedi Order. I think that's a really pretty cool plot line for as ridiculous as Brand is and looks and sounds and all of it. The nuts and bolts of that plot is good for me. What would you have, though? He's got a lightsaber and a machine gun. Timothy, what would your steampunk appendage be if you were maimed by Darth Vader, taken in by a sailboat people in the middle of a gas cloud in the Star Wars galaxy?
Yeah, so I guess where this is a 90s podcast, I think what I would want is a refrigerator arm for cans of Tang.
And don't forget the other arm to dispense Pogs.
Yes.
Pogs.
Absolutely.
Freddy, you beat me to it, Frog. Pogs were actually going to be my little opener for next week. See,
you can still use it.
It's coming up. Spoiler. It's going to happen. All right. Mine would be one of those see-through spinny cord phones that you could win from the fundraiser. in elementary school. That would be my other arm. If you ever need to make a phone call, I got one right here, and it's see-through. That's
great.
my choice. Excellent. Wow. What would yours be? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the Legends Lookback Discord channel. What would your steampunk Jedi arm be? Or like what color lightsaber would it be at the very least? Vima Daboda, however, is the other ancient Jedi who has survived the Purge and now teams up with Luke to help restart the Jedi Order. Timothy, does Vima redeem herself in your eyes? You know, her character revolves around the fact that she fled the Jedi Purge, cut herself off from the Force, did not try to overthrow the Empire. She did not get involved in the rebellion. She did not have a heroic impulse like both Ben and Yoda did in helping restart the Jedi. She was like just going to slam it up on Nar Shaddaa until she's dragged back into the action by Leia. But then in this, of course, she helps restart the Jedi, helps train Leia, saves Luke, all of that, saves Anakin, baby Anakin. Does she redeem herself for you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, she's still hesitant, especially towards the beginning of this book, but it's the baby steps. And, you know, when we get to Empire's End, and I think she even lives on, if I'm not mistaken, a bit, and she does some more good work. But yeah, I think
she's
so.
In another Legends book or two.
Yeah, I buy her redemption. I buy anybody's redemption, even at the end when they decide to pitch in and do some good. And they saved our boy Luke. She saved our boy. So I'm here for it.
Didn't she heal Chewbacca too?
Yeah, because he got the gunshot. Yeah, on the side. Yep.
Yeah. Meg, I think we've got a clip of that. Do we have a clip of that? I clipped the part of the audio drama, and I think I clipped the part when they're like, Chewie's dead, and Vima does some speaking. It was hard for me to choose one. All right, I think now would be a good time for that. So let's hear the clip of when Boba Fett shoots Chewie.
Let us know in the chat if you can hear this, because I actually don't know.
If you can't hear it, we will post it in the Legends Lookback Discord channel.
All right, let's see here.
Chewbacca!
Chewie, get up!
Don't move, Solo, or you'll join the Wookiee.
Chewie's hurt. You can start kissing your mother's picture goodbye, Fett.
The Wook's dead, Solo. I always wondered how much it would take to kill
We're all just watching the
monsters.
cat like a hawk.
Boba Fett killed Chewbacca.
No, Toto. Can you not feel it in the Force? The Wookiee is alive.
Tell your wife to step into the open, Solo.
Over my dead body, you scum.
I can arrange that.
How will we know when it's over?
It's been a fun chase, Solo. But what's that? Hey, get your hands off me, you hairball. I can't see.
Attaboy, Chewie.
Leave my jetpack alone, you animal.
It might be over. I don't know.
I think it's over now.
Yeah. We tried so hard to figure out how to play that.
Wild.
I love the chat from Samantha. She says, "How will we know when it's over?" Great. Oh man! All right. So if you want more of that, hit me up in the Legends Lookback Discord channel. I'll help you try to track it down. It's out there somewhere. Oh my gosh!
Hysterical.
So plot-wise, though, this book is great. I've got a hot take, working theory. Imagine it a little bit less Legendsy, updated 30 years with updated artwork. Wouldn't the story, at least this arc of the rebels Trojan horsing the Imperial homeworld, wouldn't that work perfectly as an arc of the current ongoing Star Wars mainline Marvel comic? Do you think it would work? I think it would work. I'm in love with this theory.
Yeah. I mean, if you just taking everything into consideration, right? I don't read too much of the canon at this moment because Jared has me slaving over the tomes. But the sequels, man, I feel like somebody read this, right? And there's a lot in it, even visually when you see him. I mean, it's a little different in some sense. I just flipped right to it, right? It's not quite the wormhole storm, but it is like a lightning storm, right? They probably just saw this and they're like, no, we're not going to do a dark side wormhole, a forced wormhole. We're going to do lightning and whatnot. Palpatine's back, and he's out for he wants immortality, and that's exactly what he wants here. He's not as naked in the new ones, but I mean, we got enough of the naked ones here.
Yeah, that's right.
But
that's
but
right.
I just feel like
it would make it rated R. They had to keep that PG-13 rating. It's all political.
Yeah, I feel like they actually did that though. I feel like we actually have a lot of this book in the current canon.
Yeah, and people are mad over it, and I'm like, I kind of like it. Timothy, what do you think of my working theory?
I love it. And especially, I think if we saw something, I know we spent a lot of time at the Battle of Jakku here in canon recently, but I would love to see something like this as they retake Coruscant. I think there's a way to do that really well in a kind of action-packed themed stint. But yeah, in the new Marvel Comics updated graphics, absolutely. I think it would be gorgeous.
I'd also love to see Cam Kennedy do a variant cover or something for a new, it doesn't have to illustrate a whole mini series, but I'd love to get him back in something. Jan Duursema from Legends has been doing some variant covers for the High Republic. So hey, those contracts are still out. Some people are still doing them. So I'd love to see that personally. But I kind of liked that plot, got going with it. And I was like, oh, this works. Yeah, they're going to steal the droids. They're going to get inside the droids. And there's this whole bit where Chewie and Lando are like, you're stepping on my foot, Chewie. And Chewie's like, "Arr!" And I'm just belly laughing reading this thing because they're cramped into this droid. They don't fit, but they're stuck in there. And then they show up on Biss, and they open the doors, and they're like, yippee ki yay, unload on the Imperials. And then Palpatine's like, but my Rancors, and it's just so great. So I'd love to see some version of this reincorporated. Now, another one of the things that is, you mentioned Freddy. Somebody's read this. What I wonder though is did Kevin J. Anderson read this or get an early script of this, or why is this so similar to the Jedi Academy trilogy? We just recently read this, Freddy. Did you notice the similarities?
I did.
Luke's restarting the Jedi, and he's getting this ragtag group of weirdos to come and be his first students. And...
Come with me, weirdos.
I'll only date half of you. Most of you will die. Yeah. I won't tell you about the Sith Lord ghost over there in the closet, but it'll probably be fine. All right. What were the similarities, and who did it better, Dark Empire 2 or Jedi Academy?
That's a tough one, because Jedi Academy was a great little trilogy, but Dark Empire, man, nothing can really touch Dark Empire. It's in its own category. The thing that I really do like about it, though, is that Kevin J. Anderson is a fan of Dark Empire, so he wanted to incorporate a lot of the content that he had here into his books, and you can see that, right? If you look at that between Heir to the Empire and all that, there are differences. It's almost like they had their little clique, the author clique, that this Dark Empire was the route some people wanted to go, and Thrawn was the route that others wanted to go.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Oh man, and one day we're gonna duke it out on Legends Lookback. Maybe not. Timothy, I know you've read the Thrawn trilogy, the Jedi Academy trilogy, right?
I read the first book, but yeah, I definitely noticed some of those early similarities. And honestly, I think I probably preferred the Jedi Academy trilogy. I mean, at least the first book that I've read. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more. I don't know if it was the art in Dark Empire, as amazing as it is, that kind of threw me off, or it's
divisive.
Yeah. And it's very exposition heavy for a comic as well, which I think was a little bit difficult at times. But no, I definitely saw it, but I think it's cool that they were still able to honor as it was there. He got to pick the things that he liked and incorporate it in a way that doesn't seem to be too stepping on toes, I guess.
Yeah, it's different enough. I'd like to I'll see if I can compile a list of all the the crazy similarities between this and Jedi Academy trilogy, and we'll put them out. You know, you've got like the super weapon. There's the people who are the people who are hidden inside the gas cloud. In Jedi Academy trilogy, they were Imperials. In this, they were steampunk Jedi. There's Luke, of course, is put into a coma in both, and then saved. So there's some crazy plot similarities, which are really fun. I happen to be partial to this, but I love the Jedi Academy trilogy too. You know what we need is the Jedi Academy trilogy illustrated with Cam Kennedy's art. Just to put it
yeah,
on par.
that's juicy.
We need an audio drama. We need an audio drama of the Jedi Academy trilogy. That'd be fun.
That would be cool.
My Legends wish list is getting long. They keep teasing me. They're giving me like these little nibbles, these little crumbs, and I'm getting overexcited. All right. One of the other things that this does really well is the incredible world building, in particular the planets in Dark Empire as a trilogy. You got the moon of Dasuja, you got Pinnacle Base, Biss, Bast Castle, which is in a George idea that there's even some Ralph McQuarrie artwork of it. Vader's castle that predates Mustafar. It's Bast Castle. You've got New Alderaan. What are the other locations? Nexus 8. The green gas cloud with the steampunk Jedi sailboat. I mean, which of these is your favorite location from this from Dark Empire, Freddy?
Oh man, I gotta tell you, when I first read this a long time ago, and they went through the gas cloud, and they found these like steam-powered ships, I just couldn't get enough. I was like, what is going on here? Another place, another Jedi, just random, just kind of threw it in there. But it works, honestly. It works.
Yeah, in reading that, they patch up the Falcon with the steampunk technology. It's so funny to me that the lightning gun looks so cool, but it like doesn't work with the Falcon because the Falcon is of a different style. And they're like, it's the best we got, and it's gonna shoot lightning and not concussion missiles. And like they keep telling Han, but he like keeps going back and he's like, Chewie wants the concussion missiles, and then it's like lightning instead. And he's like, well, it's not what I wanted, but screw you, Boba Fett, huh? And then they fly off. I also love it that Han keeps complaining about like how they've messed up the Falcon. He's like, what have you done to my ship? Yeah, he's showing it off there. There's the sailboat, the sail barge in space, and then we'll have to get some images of these. You're trying, Freddy. You're trying the lightning gun. You can see it a little bit, Freddy. You can see it a little bit.
A little bit. It's right there.
I want to see your Lego creation, man. That would be cool. That would be cool. Timothy, did you have a favorite of Dark Empire's locations?
Yeah, I did. I'm actually going to steal Spiced In's answer in the chat. I loved seeing Ossus. The rich history there. I also love the random, it's probably not a plot hole, but I love that Palpatine just missed it whenever he's like, oh yeah, of course they went to Ossus. It's like force heavy, and like, how do you miss that in your Jedi Purge? There's a whole force sensitive species there. Like you just overlooked it, but it exists. I don't know. It also gave me Ood, and I'm all about Ood. He comes in a long line of the great Deku tree from Legend of Zelda. You've got Groot. You've got Treebeard from Lord of the Rings. Like give me more sentient trees, please.
I am Taco Tim, and I stand fantasy trees.
I do.
So good. Oh man, yeah, I love Pinnacle Base. Rest in peace, Pinnacle Base. The Galaxy Gun had it coming for you, but always like that. I like the little bat things with the big teeth that fly off. I like those. Oh man, I think
this is concept art of that bat before.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Whoa.
Where's that in the back of the? All right, I'm going to Barnes & Noble. I'm going to buy it. I was like, I don't need to buy it because I've already got the hardback. But the cool thing about the Legends Epic Collection is it's actually got a handful of like these little B stories from Star Wars Tales, and I've been trying to read some of them.
Yeah,
I think it's got the story of Luke's hand that has adventures with all of the other severed limbs in Star Wars. Is that in there? Yeah. Han tells his kids a bedtime story. And it's about the adventures of Luke's severed hand.
With the Wampa hand.
Yeah, it's a Wampa hand. You got Ponda Baba's arm.
The Emperor's foot.
Yeah, the Empress.
What?
So ridiculous. I've been reading some of them. I haven't made my way through all. They're not all on Marvel. They're not all on Comixology Unlimited. Some of them are. It's like, do I want to pay $4 for these things?
Just get this.
Yeah, I'll go buy it. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna spend $4. I'll spend $40. That's what I need to. Oh, Star Wars, so good. All right, one final question before we throw our final retirement party, before we have our toast, and that is this. I have one more big hang up with this series, and that is like Palpatine's got these acolytes, but he's like doesn't have the time to train them. He's not going to put in the work to build a Sith Jedi Academy. Instead, he is hoping that, you know, Exar Kun is just going to do that for him with Luke's Jedi Academy. So instead, at one point, you know, Cedrus has killed the non-believers, and then Cedrus goes on the mission to, you know, kidnap the Jedi baby, to kidnap Anakin. That doesn't work well. So then he's like, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and give the dark side to a couple of lackeys, a couple of bureaucrats. And he's like, here, you can have the dark side. And then they're like, oh, and then they get that. It's actually really deeply unsettling to listen to in the audio drama. The sound of these two lackeys receiving the dark side because Palpatine said so. So I'm going to definitely have some nightmares tonight. Should Palpatine have the ability, as a plot point, should he, Timothy, have the ability to confer the dark side? Is this a Sith force power? Should it be? It is, because it's here, but should it be a Legends force power that you can bequeath the dark side to your bud?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
I'm not a fan. Otherwise, like why not just give it to everyone? I don't know. Like, is this how Mara got her abilities? Like, I don't like it.
Yeah,
he gives it to a lot of people, right? Like, I'm not 100% sure, but maybe even the shadow. What are the droids? Might even have
get the
like
dark side. Get the dark side.
Yeah.
Everybody gets some dark side.
Basically.
Oh, it's in there. If you don't like it or not, it's there. Okay, so guys, we're gonna send Palpatine off in style. Meg, I think you've got a clip for us. Freddy, I did a deep dive here.
Ooh.
I went back and listened to a little bit of our original Dark Empire Roundtable. It was our episode 12 from about a year ago. Well, first of all, we've come a long way with the show. Both in terms of, you know, the production of it all. We've had it for our first author interview. Shout out to John Jackson Miller for blessing us with his presence. That was so great. Hopefully more on the way soon. Things are running smoother. Freddie, I think we've also just gotten better at this. I was got to admit, I had some trouble going back and listening to episode 12. We were a little slow. It was lacking a certain oomph. But we are going to play a clip of the origin of the Naked Palps meme.
Oh, great.
Because when we were discussing Dark Empire, I had no intention of this becoming the joke that it has become.
Oh, no.
I did not intend for this to become my thing, all right? And I don't want his lack of a thing, because he's got the smooth parts, to be my thing anymore, all right? So we are officially right here. I said that. It happened. We are officially retiring Naked Palp's career, all right? Both in terms of the fact that in Empire's End, he bites it once and for all. Long story short, Timothy, catch them up. How exactly does Palpatine die? His corpse is deteriorating. His last clone, it's not working out.
Yeah, he tries to put himself into Anakin Solo, right? Freshly born, and then which the brother, the Yasani brother, right? Then like Force pushes him to Leia or to Winter, something like that, and then he misses, and I don't remember exactly how that went down, but basically he whiffed.
Yeah,
right.
We're gonna miss.
She uses all right. Impadadrios hops in, doesn't he? Doesn't Brand use the Force?
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, he absorbs him basically. And contains him in his body. Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
And then he starts to like leak whatever remaining bit of him, and he's like, let this be my last sacrifice or something like that.
Yeah.
It is absurd.
Yeah, so he needed to get into a fresh young body. And instead Joyos, Brand is a mess. He's just like half a head. There's not much left for him. And so Palpatine's like, this is not the body I was looking for. And they both die. Palpatine and Brand. Brand, I'm gonna go and say it. He's the greatest character ever in the history of Star Wars. You can quote me on that.
Yeah.
All right. We can make a new meme though. All right.
Hot dog Boba Fett.
Hot dog Boba Fett can be our new meme. Heir to the Jedi and the noodles. That's our meme. We'll keep that one. Meg loves it. No. But all right. It's gonna be retired. Like I'm trying to get a new job potentially. Who knows? If I ever try to get a new job, we'll put it that way. I gotta have a squeaky clean career here. All right. Let's just. I'm a man of the cloth. Naked Palps, I shed you from my life. No more Freddy. It's over. Naked Palps is gone. It's over.
No more.
The meme has died. We had a solid year. We had a good year, Palps. You had a 20-year, 30-year career in Legends, 40-year, depending on who's counting. It's over. But first, we're going to relive the moment that Naked Palps became a meme. Are you ready? This is it. This is our first reference on the Legends Lookback to Palpatine's smooth parts. Let's go. Fans, let us know. Listeners, let us know what you think about the art with Dark Empire. It's not hard to Google. It's all over the internet. Especially take a look at the art of the battle between Luke and Palpatine. Specifically, nude, slimy Palpatine, young Palpatine. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. Spoiler alert, he has smooth parts. Oh my gosh. This is just a wild ride. Specifically about the art, though, here's what blows my mind, Freddy. Ralph McQuarrie himself said that he was envious of Kennedy's art. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Come on. All right, yeah. All right. Whether or not that's it, we're talking now. We're talking. Basically, Timothy, I was just talking about, the physics of what was happening here and how he had smooth parts. And it became a meme. It happened. So here we are at the end of the show. We've had a fun time. Guys, I would like for us to give Palpatine, he had a good run, didn't he? Like the Patriots up here in New England, they've had a good 20 years of dominance in the NFL. It's possibly come to an end. Hopefully it's come to an end from my perspective as a Steelers fan. But let's put it this way, Palps, we're going to send him off in style. All right. Each one of us is going to offer a toast in Palpatine's honor. Who wants to start us off here? Meg, I want you to participate too. You are going to toast Palps, if you like it or not. We are going to send off Palpatine in style. Start us off, Freddy.
All I have to say is sweet dreams, naked boy.
Is that a sip of sunshine, Freddy?
Maybe.
Gorgeous. All right. Timothy, you're up.
Though evil exists and sometimes returns in familiar faces, it can always be defeated. Cheers.
That's a little tear shedding from my eyes here. Meg, you're next. Send him off. It's going to happen. It's over. Relish this moment.
Goodbye forever.
Yes.
And mine is this. All right. Somehow, Palpatine is out of here. That's it. It's over. It happened. Whew. Here's to you, Palps. You had a good run.
Here's to hot dog Boba Fett.
Here's the hot dog Boba Fett. Cheers, guys. Cheers. All right. Guys, favorite part. We've had a fun ride here tonight. We're going to let Timothy go. My wife's out of town. I got to watch my kids all day tomorrow. And I just got an email that her school is canceled because of snow in late April. So that's great. What was your favorite part of Dark Empire 2?
Oh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I feel like it takes you for a ride, right? If you have the Epic Collection, it's going to take you for a ride the entire time, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until it's over. That's it. The whole thing is fantastic.
You heard Freddy. It's not going to stop until it's over. Nothing is more Dark Empire than that. Timothy.
I loved the ending of it. I thought it was beautiful. Just watching it all kind of come to a close. And I think I understand why it has lived as long as it has in Infamy. Like, it makes total sense. And as a relative Legends noob, I am so glad to have read it twice now within a year. Thank you, guys.
Oh man, you've read this thing twice within a year. Yes.
Oh my
I've got influence over you like
Yep.
Palpatine has over Zrist or whatever his his little lackey is. I think my favorite part was there was this through line. It was repeated a lot. It was like the refrain, if you're paying attention, the Jedi will rise again.
Mhm.
The Jedi will rise again. And so it's said by Luke. It's said by like Vima Boda. It's said by Brand. They're like, the Jedi will rise again. And then at the end, Luke and Leia have these competing Force visions. So Luke's is Palpatine haunting his nightmares, as he's going to do all of ours tonight. But then Leia's is of her children, Jason, Jaina, and Anakin becoming full-fledged Jedi Knights, and they're raising their sabers in the air, and they're leading the new Jedi Order. And it comes, I'm getting chill bumps, guys. Oh, I'm getting chill bumps. I love it so much. The image of Leia's hopeful vision. It says a lot about like believing in the future. It says a lot about trusting that the next generation, that our kids will forge a path into a better age. It's so wonderful. I love it. That's my favorite part. Guys, this has been fun. Timothy, thanks for joining us this week.
Thanks for
I have
having me.
really enjoyed it. You are delightful. We'll see you for the Dark Saber Roundtable one of these days.
Perfect. I'm so looking forward to it.
And Dark Nest Part 2, The Unseen Queen. That one's going to be bad.
Yeah.
But great, because you're going to join us.
It's going to be fine.
Well, next week, we've got our friend Emma from the Cosmic Force joining us, making her Legends Lookback debut. I just hit her up with a handful of Legends comics recommendations yesterday, and she's already started them. And I cannot wait to hear her get exposed to she's going to read a little bit of Dark Empire. I think we're going to get her exposed to some Legends comics. We're going to talk about like what you need to know, the Legends Comics 101 with Emma from the Cosmic Force. That does it for this week. Thanks for joining us for Legends Look Back. Thanks to our incredible patrons who allowed us to be here doing this show tonight. Special thank you to Cheryl Bell, Patrick Ortiz, and Carl Sander on our Jedi High Council, to Elizabeth Cloutier, Jason Mitchell, Sally and Chris Eilerson, and your boy Freddy C on our Alliance High Command for their amazing support. I finally got the list. I'm so proud of myself, but more proud of you, Freddy, for your dollars. Want to say thank you to everybody who has joined us here in the chat. We've had such a good crew here with us. If it got late for you and you had to dip out, shame on you. I mean, no, thank you. We've enjoyed having you here. Thanks for making your presence known. Remember, if you're listening to this later on audio, you can pop in and listen over here every Thursday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific for our Californians and Northwesterners. I don't know what you call people up there. We're in Carl's country. But, of course, we are on youtube.com/Utini. And we would love to have you here with us. If you'd like your thoughts right on the show, you can email us at legendslookback@utini.com, or you can send us a message in the Legends Lookback Discord channel. You can leave a comment on this episode on YouTube, or you can find us on Twitter at Legends Lookback. Or, more personally, I'm at Jared Q. Mays. Freddy?
At Wake Up Freddy.
Meg?
At Meg Dowell.
And Timothy?
At _T Guthrie.
Excellent. If you are looking to buy some of these books and want to help support the show, such as this Legends Epic Collection from Marvel New Republic Volume 5, look up a book on Utini, click the Amazon link in the profile, or, of course, if you liked this half as much as we did, or even less than half, you can leave us a review over there on Utini.com, a community review. Let us know what you think. And remember, of course, keep the Utini fan code and be a force for positivity in the fandom. May the force be with you.